Ladies and gentlemen, how are you guys doing today? Today, I am going to make the Washington Commanders Super Bowl champion. Spoiler, I am not. Yeah, if you guys want to see a Super Bowl win, do not watch this. But if you want to see some guy who's so shit at this, please watch. Now, I don't know how hard that will be. I have not done many rebuilds. I usually do just fun stuff on franchise. But as you can see right here, here is our team. This is starting from the Super Bowl week. I advanced 1 week. The Eagles still won the Super Bowl. So we have Jaden Daniels, obviously Brian Robinson Jr., Terry McLaurin, De'Ami Brown, and Zach Ertz. And the defense looks pretty good. The D-line is what we're really looking at. It looks so good. Our cornerbacks are good as well. Safety's looking pretty good. And our linebacker core needs a little bit of work. So this team kind of has like the necessities to be great, obviously. Everyone here is good. There are some old players on the team, as Austin Eckler is one of them. Terry McLaurin is actually getting up there in age. He is 29. So he'll probably flatten out knowing Madden because that's how they run their system. Zach Ertz, he is a 75 overall, 34 years old. It is about time for him to kick the curb. Really promising about this team is their defense. I think honestly they have a good few years to be this good, and because a lot of these players are either young or they're a little bit high overall. Bobby Wagner, we do need to get a new middle linebacker in this draft. We need to get a new right end. Cleveland Farrell is not going to cut it. We're looking for another wide receiver to complement Terry McLaurin while he's still playing at a high level. This offensive line definitely needs some help. Sam Cosmi, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. He will be out with the ACL till next season. So yeah, I did turn off injuries because I do not like injuries, but the preset on this start Super Bowl week is with injuries on. So not much I can really do about that. So we will look for some possibly a new left guard, a new right guard, and a new right tackle in the draft, as well as a tight end. So overall, obviously the Commanders with Jaden Daniels at the helm, like, it doesn't matter. You have so much potential. So here we are at free agent signing. We are going to look, and Zach Martin is on the table. 34 years old though, but he's still a 90 overall. He is very interested in us. Look at this here, boys. Byron Murphy. He is interested in us. He has a star dev trait. He's only 27. I think I'm going to give him a pretty good deal. I want more cornerback depth on this team. We have a lot of money to play with, and I think if we settle on these positions for a long time, that look at that total offer strength is great. I think if we settle on these positions for a long time, it's gonna really help us in the long run. And here we have Javon Holland. I'm going to give him a good deal as well. I might throw him at the strong safety if we do not find anyone. So we do have pick 29 in the draft. I'm a little bit worried with that draft pick. I'm not too happy about it. And for our signings, we got Chris Godwin, we got Byron Murphy Jr., and we got Javon Holland. So a great free agency. Javon and Byron Murphy are really good signings. Chris Godwin, we needed somebody to help Terry McLaurin out really bad. And here is the end of the draft. So here are our draftees. We have Shamar Stewart, Jordan Birch, Cam Scatteraboo, and honestly, that's pretty cool. We got Cam, but still, we needed some depth pieces, and they are young talents, so they could always get up, you know. But this means that we did not get a middle linebacker. We will have to trade for one. I definitely will trade for one. Boys, we made a trade. Jack Campbell is on the team now. We traded Benjamin St-Juste, a second-round pick, 2 fourths, and a 5th. So yeah, a little haul of draft picks, but we needed a middle linebacker drastically. I think that is definitely worth it. We did not give up a first, which is what we were going for. And at the start of next year, look at our defense. Pretty beefy, honestly. I'm excited. I think the only problem that we have obviously is our O-line and then our tight end. We really need to get that fixed. I'm gonna try to find maybe a little bit higher of a tight end, maybe a free agent. If not, then that's fine. This squad is pretty good. If I honestly had a bet, this team is gonna at least finish with 11 wins. I will sim to midseason. Hopefully nothing too bad is happening, and we're gonna do a quick checkup, maybe change up some things if we need to. At midseason, we are 4-3. Jaden Daniels is having a I don't know, kind of year so far. 1,600 yards, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 68 completion percentage. On the ground, Brian Robinson Jr. has almost 300 yards with 4 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels also has 3 rushing touchdowns. Receiving, Chris Godwin, De'Ami Brown, and Terry McLaurin are all getting the ball. Defensively, Jack Campbell is putting in the work like we hoped he would. Byron Murphy has 2 interceptions. Marshawn Lattimore as well. Quan Martin putting in work. He has a forced fumble at strong safety this season. Deron Payne and Dorrance Armstrong both have the most sacks on the team with 3.5 and 3. Jonathan Allen has 2.5. So I think right now I'm going to change the slot wide receiver. I believe I had it set to Chris Godwin. Yeah, I'm going to make it Terry McLaurin, especially since in the sim, I don't know. I thought Chris Godwin would be good at slot, and then Terry McLaurin and him could split the reps, but obviously that's not working. So I think I'm going to sign Zach Ertz back to the team. No one got him. I think we really needed a tight end, and 5 overalls does make a big difference, especially at tight end, and Jaden Daniels needs someone to throw to over there in that position. So let's sim to the playoffs. We need to get into the playoffs, especially. I made a lot of adjustments, signed some free agents, changed up the depth chart. I am running the Cincinnati Bengals playbook. That is my favorite playbook in this game, by the way. And we had a great streak. At the end of the season, we have 11 wins and 6 losses. And we will go look to see how we ended off this season. So honestly, not a bad year at all from Jaden Daniels. 4,300 passing yards, 33 touchdowns, a little bit high on the interceptions, but he did have a 67 completion percentage, a 100 passer rating, which is great. Brian Robinson Jr. had 13 touchdowns on the ground with 700 yards, so didn't get over 1,000, but he was a touchdown machine. Jaden Daniels also had 6 rushing touchdowns. Receiving wise, Chris Godwin and De'Ami Brown both had 1,000, and Terry McLaurin at the slot did not put in that work. Chris Godwin is the one who put in the work this year. Zach Ertz came in and dropped almost 500 yards and a touchdown. And Jack Campbell led the team in tackles by a wide margin. Deron Payne had 11 sacks. Great season by him. Dorrance Armstrong had 8.5. Jonathan Allen, a little bit of a down year compared to his peers, but it was still a good year, pretty average for him. Byron Murphy did end off with 2 interceptions, a lot of 2 interceptions on this team. Jack Campbell had 2. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the 11-6 record. We are playing the Panthers in the wild card. I will sim the wild card. If we get to the divisional, I want to jump in and watch our team play, and we destroy the Panthers, and we're playing the 49ers. Bryce Young had 4 interceptions. Jaden Daniels had 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oh my gosh, Bryce Young, what were you doing? Jaden Daniels led the team in rushing yards, but Brian Robinson had 2 touchdowns punched in. Chris Godwin had another phenomenal game. Terry McLaurin just getting outshined by Chris Godwin. And it is time to jump into this playoff game. Since this team is already great, I wanted to just jump into these games because you never know when they'll make that Super Bowl run, and it might be this year. We are the home team, so this is very important. With a minute to go, the Commanders are up, and if we get this right here, this is game over. I believe this is already game over. Brian Robinson Jr. does not get it, and they will hand it off to Brian Robinson Jr., and he punches in the first down. That is game over. The 49ers lose to the Commanders, and they will kneel it out to send us to the NFC Championship back-to-back years. And Jaden Daniels had a pretty good game, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, also had an interception. Brian Robinson Jr. had 55 rushing yards. Cam Scatterbo also split the reps with him. And Jaden Daniels had 33 rushing yards on the ground. Chris Godwin coming in clutch again, with Terry McLaurin also doing his part and helping him out. We are going to jump in. We all know who the Eagles are and what they have on their team. This is a nasty, nasty, nasty team to play against. I feel very scared for the Commanders right here. But it's the NFL. Anything can happen. The Commies go back to Philly to try to take the W. And I didn't even want to jump in. The Eagles just stood ahead the whole game. We lost, of course. Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels had 2 interceptions. Not a great game at all by him. Brian Robinson had a touchdown and 59 yards. Zach Ertz led the game in receiving yards. But let's not get discouraged. That is only year 1 of us taking over the Commanders. We will sim to the offseason. And look at Wan'Dale Robinson. He wants to play with us, 81 overall. He's 25 years old. I think I'm going to give him a long deal. He is cheap right now, and I think we do need a good wide receiver 2/3 to help us in the long run. So Jake Ferguson is on the team. We got Wan'Dale Robinson. Chris Godwin is up to a superstar X Factor. Jaden Daniels up to a 90 overall. Honestly, everything they need to go all the way deep in the playoffs again. I want to get a really, really good wide receiver, honestly, besides Chris Godwin. And boys, the draft glitched out. We didn't even get to pick our players, but let's hope that the CPU picks some great players. George Sapp, the computer, Roger Goodell is glitched inside of him again. Pause. He is 6'5", a 21-year-old rookie. He's out of Oklahoma State, 72 overall. He is a hidden dev. Speed and Excel is a little bit below average, but he is a physical wide receiver. We got a hidden dev right outside linebacker. He is a rookie as well. And another hidden dev, 73 overall wide receiver in the draft. Oh my gosh. We'll have the rookie starting at left outside linebacker. This team is looking good, especially after the draft. We have our 2 hidden dev wide receivers playing wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4. Brian Robinson Jr. is on the team. Jaden Daniels, please, we need you to come in clutch this year. I think overall, We did make a lot of improvements in this offseason. The free agent signings were great. I'm going to sim straight to the playoffs. It is time to get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me why we just went 8-9. How did we just go 8-9 with this great team? How? I cannot believe it, boys. With a great team like this, I thought for sure there was no way we wouldn't do good this year. Jaden Daniels had 4,000 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Brian Robinson Jr. had 600 yards, only 9 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels had 2 rushing touchdowns. Chris Godwin did lead the team. George Sapp put in that work as well at wide receiver 3. Jack Campbell had a great year as well with 7 interceptions. Jack Campbell putting in work. Jonathan Allen had 12 sacks. Great year. Frankie Louvu 6. Deron Payne 5. At least this means we have a higher up draft pick, but my draft is literally glitched. It does not let me pick my players, and I don't know what to do. Madden just completely screwed me, this franchise. And for our draft, we got a hidden dev right tackle. We got Demarius Ali as a free safety hidden dev as well. And then we got a hidden dev tight end in the 6th round. So overall, pretty good draft. We got the positions that we did need in the future, especially. Now, as we start over, we have Jaden Daniels, a 92 overall. Brian Robinson Jr. still good. Chris Godwin, an 86 overall. We have 3 star dev wide receivers. I honestly want to trade some of them, maybe get some good draft capital out of them or get a great player. We have our star right tackle. On the defensive side, everybody is at least a star dev, as you can see. I want to get a great right end. Hopefully we can try to get one. I might give up a lot of draft capital for a monster right end right now. And look, boys, we just gave up 2. This might have been an overpay, but one of our wide receivers and then our star dev left outside linebacker for this superstar right end. He is a superstar 22-year-old. Boys, I think honestly that is a huge fucking steal. We still have, you know, depth at every position, but now we have this unbelievable, look at this, 2 superstar X factors. I think this is gonna be a great year. Manny Meredith, only 2nd year in the league, 82 overall, superstar X factor. Are you guys ready for a great year? We didn't even have to give up any draft picks. I'm gonna see if that means we can try to get a really good wide receiver now. If not, then we're just gonna go ahead and sim to the end of the year, because I do think Chris Godwin can still get the job done. So yeah, I couldn't find a receiver. We will sim to mid-season. I want to see how this team is doing halfway through. Hopefully we can make some adjustments, because honestly we cannot have another 8-9 season. This team is too good for that. And boys, at mid-season the Commanders are 6-1. Jaden Daniels has 1,700 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Brian Robinson has 3 touchdowns, 300 yards. Chris Godwin has 400 yards. George Sapp has 420. Wanda Robinson has 400. Jake Ferguson is also doing his thing with 5 touchdowns. So this ball is getting spread everywhere. And boys, we went on a generational fall. We are 9-8. 9-8. I can't believe it. I cannot believe that we just fell off this hard. We were 6-1. 6-1. What happened? Jaden Daniels is doing great. Chris Godwin is going up. Wanda Robinson, great. Jake Ferguson as well. Defensively, everyone is putting in work. What the hell happened past midseason? Jaden Daniels only had 3,800 passing yards but 41 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. And he had 400 rushing yards with 3 touchdowns. Brian Robinson did not have that great of a year. Chris Godwin had 15 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. And then overall, he just spread the ball around not too much. Jake Ferguson coming up next with the receiving yards. Not really anybody stood out with the sacks. Manny Meredith did have 6.5. Marshawn Lattimore and Jack Campbell both ended the season with 5. And then 2 forced fumbles and 2 fumble recoveries for Jack Campbell. We did not win any awards, so I'm honestly super terrified of what's about to happen. We are going to jump into this wild card game because it is still the Eagles. It seems that we might have to end off here on the Eagles, and if they beat us, boys, and the Commanders losing the wild card to the Eagles, I'm so fucking pissed. Jaden Daniels had 2 interceptions. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. This team was 6-1, bro. How do we just fall apart like this? How? I'm done, boys. I'm so done. I cannot believe it. We are going straight to the offseason. We are going to re-sign the players we do need. I just can't. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Jack Campbell, of course, he becomes a superstar, and we have to sign him big time. We're going to give him a fat contract because he is a stud. Chris Godwin just regresses horribly. We're going to play him back. Jonathan Allen regresses to a normal dev trait. Unbelievable. But we will re-sign him back to the team because he is still defensive tackle. And we signed Jerry Jeudy, Tevin Jenkins, and Tavondre Sweat. In this year's draft, we got a 78 overall cornerback. He might be a superstar. We also got a 73 overall defensive tackle. And yeah, those are the only significant draft players that we did get this year. At midseason, boys, we are 3-4. It is time to make some major changes. Badly, like bad. We're not putting in the work. I do not know what to do right now. We are going to try to at least just save this team so far because there's got to be something we can do. So I made a lot of changes. Boys, if we don't make the playoffs here, I'm going to be so pissed. We went 5-12, gentlemen. Jalen Hurts ended with 32-9, 4,000 yards, 700 yards rushing for Brian Robinson, 6 touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy didn't even break 1,000. And defensively, I mean, we just didn't do good. Gentlemen, this is my first rebuild, and it wasn't even a hard rebuild. It's literally a team that has such a bright future. I do not know what I did wrong. I'm sure there's so much I did wrong. If you guys want to just punch me in the face, I would not be, opposed to you guys doing that because I'm just at a loss of words. How did we do this bad? Jack Campbell was obviously just the GOAT, though. I think we understand that this is obviously not my expertise, and I'm gonna need a lot of help. Boys, I love rebuilding, but whenever I just run into things like this, I just don't know what to do. So if you guys could please let me know in the comments what I need to do differently, what needs to happen, because I know there's so much I can do. But yeah, I tried. If you guys did enjoy, let me know. I will be doing more rebuilds. Just let me know what I did wrong, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.